so. What to do? Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, we are getting closer. Very close. So I think that it's good to have a very close connection, connection, because then only we will be able to ask questions, right? Otherwise, I still remember that if we start the class 2 weeks, 3 weeks, not familiar each other, right? So today is the second last day. So next week we are going to end this year courses, right? And then before we go to next lesson, please look at the page number 28. Page number 28. For those who didn't bring the book, oh, many people. There's a problem. Actually, this is our textbook, right? Without this book, I think very difficult to understand. Actually, this course is not like other courses. So we need, reference as well as connection, right? Connection. So I think no wonder you didn't. Some of you do not understand last week, right? I'm told that some of you are not very clear about previous lessons. Okay, so I think. And I think that you still remember that we have a 27 sublime Cheta, right? Actually, this is a combination of 5 material jhanas, right? And we have 12 immaterial jhanas. All these two are called sublime, Mahagata in Bali. That means only for those who are higher, they can attain those Cheta, right? Jhanas. So we have 27 sublime jhana chetas. Actually, up to here, so they are called as the mundane cheta, right? Mundane cheta. So these are mundane jhana chetas. We have 27. So we have a 3 jhana cheta. The first 3 jhana cheta. So if we talk about the first jhana, we have to remember 5 jhana factors, right? Together with the thought, vitaka, examination, vichara, zest, piti, pleasure, sukha, one-pointedness, ekagata, right? So when you attain the first jhana, so all these jhana factors will be come along with, right? So therefore, you have to remember that in the first 3 jhana cheta, 5 jhana factor. So when you go to next level, so we have to overcome thought, right? If you stay with thought, you cannot go to next step, right? So therefore, in second jhana, thought is excluded. And if you want to go further, in the third jhana cheta, examination or vichara, the thought in this book is translated as the applying, initial application, right? Initial application. Examination, vichara is translated as the sustained application, right? So actually, we have learned all these one. So when you go to the 4th jhana, zest, it is further excluded. So actually, we have only in the 4th jhana only pleasure and one-pointedness, right? So before we learn association, we have to know all these one, right? Then in the 5th jhana, there's no pleasure is further excluded, right? Even though the pleasure is excluded, we still have other feeling, other pleasure feeling, right? Other joy feeling. So actually the pleasure is feeling, one of the feeling. So even though pleasure feeling is excluded, we still have a other joy feeling, right? We have to remember this one. Another one is in the 5th jhana, together with equanimity and one-pointedness, right? Equanimity. So we have to take note here, the equanimity. When you attain the 5th jhana, there's no pleasure. Not even the pleasure. There's no pleasure, right? So we have to know all these one. Right? So I hope you get it. Then the combinations, mental factor. So we have a 27 sublime state, can be divided into 5 methods, right? Classified into 5 methods. We have 5 methods because we have 5 jhana, right? 5 jhana. I think first of all we need to understand 89 cheta and 52 mental factor. So here we have a 27 sublime chetas. So we are going to, going to study how many Cetasika associate with, right? So basically we can divide Cetasika into 3 groups. The first one is command to the others. We have a 30, right? So they can be, these command to the other can associate with either good or bad, both good or bad, right? So therefore, we can get 30 command to the others. The next group is the 40 unwholesome mental factor. But these jhanas are wholesome one, right? Actually, these 27 sublime jhana cheta cannot associate with 40 unwholesome mental factors. Now we have actually the sublime jhana chetas are beautiful one. So therefore, they were associated with 25 beautiful mental factors. But among the 25, we have a 3 excluding 3 abstinences, right? 3 abstinences. So 27 sublime jhana cheta, basically associated with 35. And 30 common to the others, Cetasika, and 22 beautiful mental factors. So we have to exclude 3 abstinences. That is the reason. Okay.
Okay, referring to the first slides that you show us, okay, at Vichara, the Vitaka is being eliminated, right?
Yeah.
So when we use these association mental factors method, so the first jhana, the Vitaka, we have altogether 55 jhanas associated with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, but then when it comes to Vichara, okay, how come it's 66? Because Vitaka is already eliminated. So suppose that if you are given out the 11
Yeah.
jhanas associated with Vipassana, so when it comes to Vichara,
Vichara.
it's still 55.
You mean
Because the first
Vitaka 55, Vichara 66, right? 66.
No, but then to what I see, why Vitaka is still included in Vichara.
You mean
11.
Vitaka is included in the second jhana? What do you mean?
Yes. Because the calculation says 11 chitas is from first jhana. Am I right?
Actually, we have learned all these when Vitaka associated with the 55, right? But Vichara 66. The reason is 11 second jhana chetas are added. The reason is at the moment of second jhana, Vichara is stay there. No more Vitaka at the time.
So Vitaka is absent.
Yeah, yeah. Vitaka is not added at the time.
Yeah, but then why the 11 chitas from Vitaka is included in Vichara?
Because actually, even the first jhana movement, Vitaka, Vichara, all these two are still here, the same. So therefore, when Vitaka associate with 55 cheta, right? 55 cheta, and Vitaka also stay there. Vitaka also associate with 55. But when we are in second jhana, Vitaka is, we already overcome Vitaka. So therefore, but Vichara is stay in this, stay exists in second jhana. So therefore, second jhana, 11 second jhana is added. Actually, I think you're confusing association and combination. Because
It's association with them because the first one Vitaka, we had 11 first jhana chita. Right?
sorry.
Actually, it's 44. Then we added first jhana factors, 11 of them. So
It's not like this. Not like this. Vitaka is mental factor, right? Vitaka is Cetasika. So in that sense, we are learning Vitaka, how many Cheta associate with Vitaka. So in Vitaka can associate with 55 Cheta.
first jhana chita also included.
Yeah, the first jhana as well.
So my question is that at second jhana, Vichara, okay, since Vitaka is already eliminated, so why we still include the 11 chita from the
You mean 11, the first jhana?
yes? Because
Actually, in the first jhana, Vichara is jhana factor, right? I think you are confused. No, wait, I'll clarify. The question is, we learned how Cetasika associate with how many Cheta, right? So first of all, we are learning Vitaka, right? Vitaka associate with 55. I think we don't need to count this one, right? You already know it. We include among the 55, 11 is the first jhana. Because in the first jhana, we have a Vitaka, right? The next one, vichara associate with the 55 cheda that is associated with Vitaka, right? And plus we have to add another 11 second jhana chetas. The reason is at the moment of second jhana we still have Vitaka, right? At the moment of second jhana we still have a Vitaka. So therefore we have to add that second jhana cheta to vichara, right? And just go back to the lesson like that. Okay. Because of course it's a little bit confusing because first of all you have to know. Now we are learning based on the cheta. We are learning how many Cetasika associated with, right? But your question is based on the Cetasika, mental factor. Actually, is it different? Two different, how to say, the chapter, right? Chapter. So here, let's talk about the first jhana chetas, right? The first jhana chetas. Here, the first jhana means from 27 sublime cheta, right? Here is no supramundane jhana. Supramundane jhana is not here. So in the first jhana chetas associate with 35. So basically we can divide 52 Cetasika into 3 groups. The first group is common with the others. 30 common to the others. So these 30 common to the other associate with either good or bad, both good and bad, right? Therefore, 30 common to the other Cetasika will associate with, and whether it is good or bad. But this one is a good one, but still it will associate with common to the others, right? Therefore, 30 common to the others Cetasika. So this is a very wholesome cheta. So therefore, they were not associated with unwholesome Cetasika. So we don't need to think about 40 unwholesome Cetasika. Forget about them, right? Then we have to look at 25 beautiful mental factors. Among the 25, we have to exclude 3 abstinences. So therefore, we have only 22 beautiful mental factors, right? Beautiful mental factors. Altogether, 35. 35. So actually, I have written the reason why. So when we are in jhana, all the hindrances are removed. No more hindrances at the time of jhana, right? So therefore, if we do not have any defilements or hindrances in our mind, there's nothing to refrain from. No unwholesome deed to refrain from. Right? So therefore, when you are in jhana, 3 abstinences are not necessary because we don't have anything to refrain from. At the moment of jhana, all the defilements or hindrances are absent. No defilements, no hindrances. So therefore, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to refrain from any unwholesome deed, right? So therefore, we have to exclude 3 abstinences, right? 3 abstinences. So here, the first jhana chetas associate with 35, 30 common to the others, 22 beautiful mental factors excluding 3 abstinences. A very easy one. But you have to know, you have to take note the reason why, right? The reason why. The moment you are meditating, the moment you are in jhana, no defilement in your mind, no hindrances in your mind is very pure, right? You don't need to, at that time, at that moment, you don't need to refrain from any wrongdoings, right? So there's no chance for 3 abstinences. How about second jhana chetas? How many, what do you think, how many Cetasika were associated with second jhana? 34. Which one you will exclude? Yeah, with that guy. You're right. Yes. That was very easy. If you know the first one, the rest very easy, right? So you have in the second jhana cheta only 34. So thought or vitaka is excluded, right? Vitaka is excluded. What about the third jhana? 33. Yeah. So you have to exclude. Further excluded examination. The fourth jhana, rapture or zest, right? Zest. How about the fifth jhana? The fourth jhana, 32. How about the fifth jhana? Sorry? 30. Another two have to exclude. Which one? Apamanya, the unlimited. Up to here, I know you're clear, right? Because the moment you attain second jhana, there's no thought. So therefore, we have to exclude thought. The moment you are in third jhana, no vichara. The moment you are in the fourth jhana, no zest or rapture, right? But the moment you are in the fifth jhana, no pleasure, right? Sukha. No sukha. But as I said that sukha is a type of feeling. But we still have another type of feeling, right? Therefore, even though the pleasure is excluded, no different in terms of number, right? No different number. But you have to exclude two elementary base. Two elementary base. The two elementary base are compassion and altruistic joy, right? So the reason is, when you practice compassion and altruistic joy meditation, you can only attain up to the fourth jhana. You cannot attain the fifth jhana when you practice compassion and altruistic joy. But this is a little bit contradict with the suttas. So there are some sutta that talk about other different way, right? Different way. So anyway, according to Abhidhamma, when you practice compassion meditation and altruistic joy meditation, you can only attain up to the fourth jhana. You cannot attain the fifth jhana, right? The fifth jhana. So therefore, two elementary base have to be excluded when we talk about the fifth jhana, right? So therefore, only 30. The fifth jhana chetas associate with 30. 30 common to the others, Cetasika, and 20 beautiful mental factors. Right? We have to amend the 25. We have to exclude 3 abstinences and 2 elementaries. That's all. Now we finished 5, right? 5 method. Very easy, right? But in when we learn about supramundane jhana, right? Supramundane chetas, so we have to exclude 2 elementaries. The reason is supramundane cheta takes nibbana as their object, but 2 elementary takes sentient beings as their object. So different objects are different the objects of the mind, right? So therefore, when we talk about supramundane jhana, we have to exclude 2 elementaries. So now amended 33 combination method, we finished 10, right? We finished 10. Any question? Okay. Yeah, appreciative joy. Comment to the other, appreciative joy or altruistic joy the same. Only that different translation, different translation. Sometimes it's translated as a shared joy, appreciated joy, and altruistic joy, right? But let's see, I like shared joy. But this year, I like appreciated joy. Sorry, altruistic joy. Maybe next year may change again. When I think about it, I think altruistic joy is a very beautiful one, right? Okay, so let's go to next one. So now 24 sphere, beautiful consciousness. Kama Vajra Sopana Cheta, right? Sopana Cheta. 24 sphere, beautiful consciousness. Number 1, sphere, wholesome consciousness. Here, wholesome. Normally, we normally say Mahakusala, right? Mahakusala. We have a 8 sphere wholesome consciousness. We have a 8 sphere resident consciousness. We have a 8 sphere functional consciousness. Before we go there, I want to repeat a little bit so that you recall what you have learned. So the first one, sphere wholesome consciousness, kusala cheta. Wherever you do wholesome things, right? That is sphere wholesome cheta. And second one, resident consciousness. After doing wholesome things, and you will have a reset, right? Reset. So these are sphere resident consciousness. And third one is the functional consciousness. As we have learned that functional consciousness can rise only in the minds of Arahants and the Buddhas, right? So actually functional consciousness is very similar to wholesome consciousness, right? Wholesome consciousness. Altogether we were 24. Actually we have it among the 24. If you learn 8 sphere wholesome consciousness, you don't need to if you learn 8, is more than enough, right? So I think you have to you have to look at with the full concentrations, right? If you lost concentrations, you will not be able to catch up with, right? Therefore, very important one. So here we have a lot of link. If you do not know the link, you do not understand, right? You will lose it. You will lose it. So here we have 8 wholesome consciousness. We will call it Mahakusala, right? 8 Mahakusala. Maha means great. Because in terms of wholesome deed, this is a great in number, right? Great in number. So therefore we call it Mahakusala. So we have 8 Mahakusala. Number 1, one consciousness accompanied by joy. Here we have to take note, joy, right? Joy. You're happy to do wholesome deed. Associated with the knowledge. Here, knowledge or wisdom or faculty of wisdom are the same, right? So when you do wholesome deed, along with you know what is good, what is bad, right? You know what you are doing. That is associated with the knowledge. Unprompted, right? Unprompted. So here, unprompted means full of motivation and full of energy, right? Full of energy. Prompted means you don't have not much motivation, right? Not much energy, but you still have it. You still have it, right? Whether it is more or less, right? So here, you have to pay attention, association with the knowledge. Both, these two, 1 and 2, association with the knowledge. So that means the faculty of wisdom will be along with this, accompanied by, right? Accompanied by. When you talk about the first two, the faculty of wisdom will associate with. And second two, dissociated from knowledge, right? Dissociated from knowledge. So when you talk about second, we will call it the first pair. The first pair of Mahakusala. So pair means these two, 1 and 2, right? Because we were not differentiate in terms of unprompted or prompted, right? So here, unprompted means you're full of motivation. Motivation or volition. Volition is Chetana, right? Chetana associated with all type of Cheta. Nothing different, right? So whether you have more Chetana or less Chetana, it doesn't make any difference, right? So therefore, when we learn about association or the mental factor, so unprompted or prompted will not make any difference. But when we talk about unwholesome Cheta, it will make difference. So I will explain later, right? Here, when we talk about sense sphere, right? When we talk about sense sphere wholesome consciousness, unprompted or prompted will not make any difference, right? Will not make any difference. So what you have to remember is associated with the knowledge, right? So these two, we will call it the pair of Mahakusala, right? The pair of Mahakusala. The first pair of Mahakusala. So when we talk about the first pair of Mahakusala, you have to remember all this way, right? Normally when I teach Abhidhamma in Burmese, I'm told them, take the picture in your mind. Take this, take all these lines in your mind, just like a taking photo, right? So that it's clear for you when you learn association. But here, you have to pay attention. Association with the knowledge, right? The first pair of Mahakusala will associate with the wisdom. The reason is associated with the knowledge, right? Another one is joy, right? All these are joy. The second pair of Mahakusala dissociated from knowledge. So when we talk about second pair of Mahakusala, we have to exclude wisdom, right? The faculty of wisdom. The reason is it is dissociated from knowledge. So you have to remember in this way. Otherwise, you have to memorize everything, right? So the first pair of Mahakusala will associate with wisdom. The second pair of Mahakusala Cheta will not associate with wisdom, faculty of wisdom. Then the third one also associated with the knowledge, but equanimity, right? You have to pay attention to equanimity. So equanimity, the pity or zest does not associate with equanimity feeling. So therefore, when we talk about the third pair of Mahakusala, zest will be excluded. Piti will be excluded. Because piti does not associate with equanimous feeling, right? Actually, we have learned that piti can associate with the 50, how many? 55 or not 55, 59, forgot, eh? So among them, so piti mental factor, so associate with does not associate with equanimity, right? Here we are talking about equanimity. 5 and 6, we will call it the third pair of Mahakusala, right? It will associate with the wisdom, but it will not associate with piti or zest. And number 7 and 8, it is called the fourth pair of Mahakusala, right? The fourth pair of Mahakusala. So it will not associate with knowledge, we're not associated with the wisdom. The reason is, it dissociates with knowledge, right? So we also have to exclude piti or zest. The reason is, piti does not associate with the equanimity, right? If you know these four, you know the rest. You know the rest. So please look at again. The first pair of Mahakusala were associated with the knowledge, with the wisdom. The reason is associated with the knowledge, right? The second pair of Mahakusala were not associated with wisdom. The reason is dissociated from knowledge. And the third pair of Mahakusala were associated with the wisdom that have to exclude piti or zest. The reason is piti does not associate with the equanimity. And the fourth pair of Mahakusala were not associated wisdom as well as piti, right? If you know this, very easy, right? So we have a 24 sincere beautiful Cheda, and we have a 12 method, right? 12 method. Wholesome Cheda, 4 method, and resident Cheda, 4 method, and functional Cheda, 4 method, right? If you know wholesome Cheda, you know the rest, right? You know the rest. The first pair of Mahakusala Chedas associate with 38. 30 command to the other Cetasikas and 25 beautiful mental factors. As I said that we can divide 52 Cetasika into 3, right? And command to the other, 30 command to the others, and 40 unwholesome Cetasika, and 25 beautiful mental factors. So here, since we are wholesome, beautiful Cheda, so that means beautiful Cheda were not associated with ugly Cheda, right? Unwholesome, 40 unwholesome mental factors are ugly mental factor, right? So these 24 were not associated 40 unwholesome, but they were associated the rest. So therefore, the first pair of Mahakusala Cheda were associated with 38. Among the 52 mental factor, we have to exclude 40 unwholesome mental factors, right? How about second pair of Mahakusala? What you will exclude? Sorry? Knowledge or wisdom. Actually, in Cetasika, we call it the faculty of wisdom, right? So if we exclude the faculty of wisdom, it will be 37, right? 37. So among the 38, 3 abstinences and 2 elementaries associated with the wholesome Cheda occasionally. Actually, we have learned that one, right? So only when you refrain from unwholesome deed, so 3 abstinences will arise. The other time, no? Now you are learning, you are not refraining from unwholesome deed, but you, in your mind, we are accumulating wholesome deed, right? But this time, there's no 3 abstinences, right? 3 abstinences. But suddenly, a mosquito approached to you, making a big noise. You went to kill. That you remember that killing is not good, right? Of course, this time you may have a 3 abstinences, right? What I want to say is 3 abstinences will arise occasionally, not all the time. Only you refrain from unwholesome deed. And 2 elementaries are also the same thing. Well, only when you have a compassion to those who are suffering. Only you practice, only you have altruistic joy, that you congratulate those who are happy and successful, right? So other than that, those two elements will also will rise occasionally, only sometime, right? Not all the time. So therefore, these five, 3 abstinences and 2 elemental base, will associate wholesome Cheta occasionally. We call it in Pali, Aniyata Yogi, right? Aniyata Yogi. Normally, Abhidhamma teachers, they use Pali. It's easier to learn. Otherwise, if you're using English, very confusing. Even now, right? Appreciated joy and altruistic joy. Therefore, it's good to use Pali. So anyway, we are not using. Anyway, we're trying our best to use that. Actually, I find that many people like charge, right? To count Cheta and Cetasika with the charge. Maybe next year, I will arrange a very my own chart, so that I can refer to. I will give it to you. I think it's easier for us to refer to the Cheta or Cetasika, right? So otherwise, it's really confusing. But remember that whenever you come to this class, bring this book. That's very important one. We largely based on this book. Not largely, we totally based on this book. Right? Okay, so the first pair of Mahakusala associate 38. But second pair of Mahakusala will associate only 37. We have to exclude the faculty of wisdom. The reason is 2 pair of Chetas, 2 pair of Mahakusala Cheta are dissociated from knowledge, right? Sometimes we do wholesome deed without knowledge. Some other people do, you follow, right? Without knowledge. But still it is considered as a wholesome deed, right? Wholesome deed. So therefore, in the second pair of Mahakusala, only 37, 30 common to the others, and 24 beautiful mental factors, excluding faculty of wisdom. How about the third pair of Mahakusala? The third pair of Mahakusala, equanimity feeling, which one you will exclude? Piti, right? Zest. Piti will not associate with the equanimous feeling. And the third pair of Mahakusala Cheta will be associated with the wisdom, right? Associated with wisdom. So therefore, the wisdom will be joined again because it's associated with knowledge, right? But the number is the same. The number is 37, right? 37. But different is we have to exclude zest, but we have to include wisdom. The reason is associated with the knowledge, right? Knowledge. How about the fourth pair of Mahakusala? It is equanimity feeling. We have to exclude zest. It is dissociated from knowledge. We also have to exclude faculty of wisdom, right? Faculty of wisdom. So altogether, how many? 36, right? 36. So here, I have given the reason. Zest, piti is excluded because it does not associate with equanimity, right? And faculty of wisdom is excluded because these chetas, some of the chetas, not these chetas, right? Some of the chetas are dissociated from knowledge, especially number 4, right? The 4 pair of chetas are dissociated from knowledge. I think it's quite clear, right? The first one, the first pair, 38. We have 52 mental factors, and then we have to exclude 40 and wholesome deed. The rest, 38. The second pair, you have to exclude exclude the faculty of wisdom. The reason is, second pair of cheta dissociated from knowledge. Then the third pair of Mahakusala cheta associated with the knowledge, the wisdom will become again. then it is equanimous feeling. So therefore, zest will be excluded. 37. But the fourth pair of Mahakusala Cheda will have to exclude zest as well as wisdom, right? So therefore, 36. So when we do, now it is the four method as far as the Hosen Cheda is concerned, Mahakusala Cheda is concerned, right? How about question? Okay. Piti is not feeling. Piti is a one with the factor. Vedana, equanimity is Vedana, feeling, and pleasure is feeling. Sorry? For the first pair. The first pair is a joy, accompanied by joy, right? Very good question, a deep idea. Among the 38, right? Among the 38, equanimity is there. Equanimity is there. Very thing that we have to consider, we have to ponder upon. So therefore, sometimes if we probe into deeper level, of course, what I think now is this is the method to combine all the mental factors that can be count. So when we do wholesome deed, all the 35 may not accompanied by. This is the way of counting. I want to say the maximum, right? Maximum number. But of course, I think that when we are doing Osandi with the first pair of Mahakusala Cheda, accompanied by joy, right? Accompanied by joy. So by that time, equanimity may not be there. But here I got a question. I have the answer. The answer that, as you know, the equanimity is under Tetramichadata, right? Tetramichadata. So I think so. Yeah, I think so. When we do wholesome deed, these 37 may not be there, or the 38 may not be there. It is just counting maximum number, right? Maximum number. Very deep, eh? Very deep. No, not really easy. Okay. So this is a four method, right? Four method in terms of under the wholesome Cheda, Mahakusala Cheda. So when we talk about functional Mahakriya, we call it Mahakriya, right? Sincere, beautiful functional consciousness. We also have the same, right? The same. But the difference is the functional consciousness arises in the minds of Arahants and the Buddha, right? So Arahant and the Buddha, they do not have any defilements in their mind. So therefore, they will not do any wholesome deed. So for them, there's no need to refrain from wholesome deed, because they already remove all the defilements in their mind. We do unwholesome deed because we have a defilements in our mind, right? So therefore, functional consciousness do not associate with three abstinences. Three abstinences. The reason is Arahant and the Buddha, nothing to refrain from, right? Nothing to refrain from. So therefore, when we talk about 8 sincere functional consciousness, beautiful functional consciousness, we have to exclude 3 abstinences, right? 3 abstinences. So the first pair of Mahakusala associate with 38. Concentrate your mind, focus your mind, right? If your mind go away, cannot catch up with. We have learned that the first pair of Mahakusala, ocean, associate with 38. But when we talk about functional consciousness, Mahakriya Cheta, right? We have to exclude 3 abstinences. So if we exclude 3 abstinences out of 38, how many? 35, right? So the first pair of Mahakriya were associated with 35. And 30 come to the other Cetasikas. And 20, how many? 22, right? 22 beautiful mental factors, excluding 3 abstinences. Altogether, 35. 35. The first pair. And second pair, which one you will exclude? Second pair? Wisdom. So if you exclude wisdom, 36, right? 36. Then the third pair of Mahakriya, which one you will exclude? Zest. But you have to include wisdom again, because the third pair associated with the wisdom, right? But 34. How about the fourth pair? You have to exclude both zest and wisdom. Altogether, 33, 35, the first pair 35, the second pair 34, the third pair 34, and the fourth pair 33. Easy, right? Actually here, I have given my note, but when we talk about resident, sincere, beautiful resident Cheta, we call it Vipaka, right? And you add Mahavipaka. Actually, Mahavipaka take sincere phenomenal object. You may not understand this one right now, but when we learn the third chapter, you will know it. So as you know, we have a different type of object. Some Cheta take Nibbana object. Some Cheta take concept object, Panyati. Some Jhana Cheta, they take Panyati, right? Panyati. And some Jhana Cheta, they take sublime Mahagata object. But resident consciousness, Vipaka Cheta, especially Mahavipaka, sincere, beautiful, resident Cheta, Mahavipaka, right? It associates sincere object, karma object. In Pali we call it karma object, sincere. Actually, I will give you one example. When you see something, we have a eye consciousness, right? And the Cheta or consciousness that are connected with the I consciousness. So, and we were, when we see and the door open, right? 5 door adverting, then I consciousness, then receiving consciousness, and investigation consciousness, and determining consciousness, then you experience the object fully. We call it Jhavana, right? And after Jhavana, we have a 2 registration. We translate as a 2 registration, right? Actually, it's better to translate as a retentive, right? Retentive or retention or retentive. Then I have to look at the retentive, because when the Jhavana experience, then that he see, right? That he see, fully experience, fully enjoy. Then after that, it doesn't stop. Then retentive Cheta, Dharamana Cheta, will take that object again and enjoy, right? Enjoy. These 2 retentive or 2 registrations is nothing but Mahavipaka. So as you know that Mahavipaka take its object of seeing something, right? Thing that is connected with the senses. When you hear something, then you have a Jhavana. After Jhavana, 2 registrations. So 2 registrations will take the object of Jhavana. If Jhavana take the sound, right? The 2 Jhavana also will take the sound. If Jhavana take experience the food, right? And 2 Jhavana also, 2 registration also will take the food. So here, my point is, Mahavipaka follow Jhavana. Not every Jhavana. Only thing that is connected with the senses. Eye, ear, nose, tongue, and body. Other than that, when you are in jhana, no registration. When you attain Magga and Phala, no registrations. When you become Brahma, no registration, right? So therefore, when you learn the 4th chapter, you will know better. So what I want to tell you is that Mahavipaka Cheta, sense, fear, beautiful, resident Cheta, right? It's too long. Mahavipaka, right? Mahavipaka take the object that is connected with the senses. In Pali, we call it Kama, right? Kama Cheta. But when we talk about two elementary base, right? Compassion and altruistic joy. So when we practice compassion and altruistic joy, our object of mind is sentient beings, right? It's sentient beings, not karma object, sentient beings. Actually, sentient being is a concept. We call it concept. So therefore, 2 elementary base also have to exclude when we talk about Mahavipaka. The reason is they have a different object of the mind, right? Different object of the mind. It is the same as it's not a little bit different when we talk about 3 abstinences, right? 3 abstinences, so we have to refrain from, right? We have to refrain from. But Mahavipaka have only four functions. Four functions. And one function is registration, right? Registration or retentive. Another three, rebirth consciousness. And bhavanga, right? Like continuum. Another one is the death consciousness, death function, right? So only four functions. But here, three abstinences. The function of three abstinences is to refrain from. So therefore, they have a different function. Got it? So Mahavipaka Cheda have only do only four functions, four job. In the next chapter you will know it. So the first one is retentive or registration, right? Then another one is rebirth function. It makes the function of rebirth consciousness. Another one is death function, right? Death consciousness. Another one is the bhavanga. It's like continue, right? So Mahavipaka does not function the function to refrain from. So therefore, when we talk about Mahavipaka, three abstinences also have to be excluded. Among the 38, we have to exclude 5, right? 3 abstinences and 2 alimentables. How many left? Sorry? 33. The first pair will associate 33. And second pair, the wisdom is excluded, 32, right? And the third pair, although 32. Zest will be excluded and wisdom will be included again. And the last pair, the fourth pair will associate with only 31, right? Only 31. Because zest and wisdom will be excluded. Altogether, 12 method, right? So up to now, we finished 22 method. 22 method. You understand? You understand? Confusing? I think you have to look at the note again, right? I think these are very useful to understand, especially for those who want to become a teacher, especially meditation teacher, right? Meditation teacher. So you must understand that. When we talk about Mahakriya Cheda, it's to say only 35. So here, Mahakriya means 8 great functional chetas, right? But do not associate with 3 abstinences. The reason is, Arahant and the Buddha do not need to refrain from any evil deeds because they don't have any defilements in their mind, right? Nothing to refrain from. So therefore, there's no 3 abstinences. Like Mahakusala Cheda, Mahakriya Cheda are classified into 4 methods. So when we count, we have to exclude 3 abstinences, right? So the first pair, how many? 35. Second pair, 34. Third pair, 34. And the fourth pair, 36, right? Sorry, 34. 33. Mahavipaka Cheda associated with 33. We have to exclude 3 abstinences and 2 unlimited base, right? Because these, the reason is these chetas, Mahavipaka Cheda, take solely sense-sphere phenomena as their object, right? As their object. So like Mahakusala Cheda, this also can be classified into 4 methods. We have to exclude 3 abstinences and 2 alimentables. The first pair, 33, second, 32, third, 32, and the fourth pair, 31, right? 31. So now altogether we have a 12 methods when we count 24 since we have beautiful Cheta, right? So now we finish 22, right? 22. We still have another 30, right? Another 30. Any question? Great. Oh, yeah, sorry, it's copy paste. Sorry, thank you. Resatan. Eight great is Resatan Chetas, right? Okay. Then I think up to now, we finish the 22 method. Now let's go to Tre and Hosen consciousness. So up to now, you may notice that we are not going in sequence, right? Among the 89 Chetas, we count Anhosen Cheta first, then Rutala Cheta, then Sincere Beautiful Cheta, then Sublime Cheta, then Supramundane Cheta. But the reason why the writer, the author, started with Sublime Cheta is that Sublime Cheta can associate with 36 all the way, right? All the way. So after that, Sublime Cheta, 35, right? 35. But since fear, beautiful Cheta, the first pair associate with 38, right? 38. Why the author did not mention this one first? The reason is, among the 38, 3 abstinences and 2 elementables, they associate occasionally, not all the time. If we exclude 5, we have only 33, right? 33. It is less in number than supramundane Cheta, right? So when we talk about unwholesome consciousness, it associates with only unwholesome consciousness only associated with 27 Cetasikas. 27 is lesser than 38, right? Lesser than 38. It is lesser than 33. So therefore, after sincere beautiful Cheta came. The root-like consciousness associated with lesser Cetasika. It associates only 12 major factor, right? So therefore, its status at the less. I think it's not mentioned in the book, right? It's not mentioned in the book. It's important you just take note, right? So we have 12 unwholesome consciousness rooted in greed. 8 consciousness rooted in greed. 2 consciousness rooted in hatred. 2 consciousness rooted in delusion, right? Delusion. So together, 12, right? In the unwholesome Cheta, we have a 7 method, right? 7 method. It is the most complicated method. So sorry. But if your concentration is high, not difficult, you have to use your full mindfulness and concentrations, right? Otherwise, confusing. We have a 7 method. First of all, you need to know that 12 unwholesome Chetas basically associate with 27 mental factors only. 27 mental factors only. 30 command to the others, Cetasika, and 40 unwholesome Cetasikas. I I think it is quite clear that you have to forget about beautiful mental factors. The reason is these are ugly chetas. Ugly chetas were not associated with beautiful mental factors. Forget about 25, right? You have to consider 30 common to the others and 40 unwholesome mental factors. The further, you have to take note that greed-rooted chetas do not associate with hatred group mental factors. So as you know, we have a hatred group, dosa, hatred, envy, avarice, and remorse, right? We have 4 hatred groups. If you are greedy, you have no anger. The moment you are greedy, no anger, no hatred. The moment you have hatred, no greed. Opposite. A very subtle level. So therefore, for those who are greedy, less anger. They are very gentle. They are very approachable. For those who are always angry, less greed. They are not greedy, right? Anyway, this is just generally, how to say, defining the people, right? But according to Abhidhamma, if you have a greed, you don't have a hatred. If you have a hatred, you don't have a greed. They are opposite, right? They are opposite. So therefore, you have to take note that we have a greed, wrong view, and conceit. These 3 are greed group. 3, right? 3 groups. And hatred, envy. So therefore, I think that you have to look at for those who have the book, page page number 79. If you look at this chart, it's very clear. We have a 40 unwholesome mental factor. The first 4 are called universal, unwholesome universals. Because wherever you do unwholesome deed, these 4 mental factors will accompany. Number 1, delusion. Number 2, shamelessness. Number 3, fearlessness of wrongdoing. Number 4, restlessness. Wherever you do unwholesome deed, anytime, these 4 will accompany, right? So therefore, we call it unwholesome universals. So these 4 will associate with any type of unwholesome chetas, right? Well, we have to first remember this one. So we have 3 group, greed group, greed, wrong view, and conceit, right? Because they associate with the cheta rooted in greed. So therefore we call it greed group, right? 3. So when we talk about greed, so when we are talking about greed, so these 3 were associated with. But hatred group were not associated. When we talk about hatred rooted cheta and greed group were not, how to say that, it's very clear. Greed group mental factor were not associated with, right? So we have 4 hatred group. Hatred, envy, avarice, and here is worry, right? Worry or remorse. These are 4, right? So you have to remember this one. But the last 3, sloth and torpor, right? Sloth and torpor. So when you have a sloth and torpor, you are not active. Capacity of your mind and body is reduced, right? You have less motivation and energy. So therefore, you don't have unprompted Cheda. Unprompted means you don't need to be prompted. But these Lord and Thopa were associated with prompted Cheda. Prompted Cheda means you need to be supported with the energy and motivation by somebody or by yourself, right? So when we are doing unwholesome deed, with the less motivation and less energy, it is called prompted, right? Prompted. If we are doing unwholesome deed eagerly, and that is called unprompted, right? Your mind no need to support it with the energy and motivation, right? Motivation. So therefore, sloth and torpor, among the last three, sloth and torpor were associated with Cheda that are prompted, right? Then doubt. Doubt were associated only with the Cheda that is accompanied by doubt, right? Accompanied by doubt. I think it's now getting clear. The first four is called unwholesome universes. We are talking about unwholesome Cetasika, right? 40 unwholesome Cetasika. So the first four is called unwholesome universes because whatever we do unwholesome deed, these four were associated with. These four were accompanied by, right? And the last three is called greed group, right? So when we are doing, when we are greedy, so these three mental factors will come along with, together with unwholesome universes, right? At that time, there's no hatred group Cheda. No hatred group Cheda, right? If you are full of motivation, no sloth and torpor, right? If you are full of energy, if you are too greedy, no sloth and torpor, right? No sloth and torpor, like this. Then doubt, right? If you are angry, then unwholesome universes, 4 unwholesome universes, as well as the 4 mental factors under the hatred group, right? Hatred, envy, avarice, and worry, right? And doubt is clear that it is associated with the Cheda that rooted in doubt, right? Rooted in doubt. If you know this one, I think it's not difficult. Not difficult. Basically, you have to understand that prayer and wholesome Cheda were not associated with 25 beautiful mental factors. So it will associate only the rest, right? Only the rest. 27. First of all, let's see 8 consciousness rooted in greed, right? 8 consciousness rooted in greed. Here we have to look at one by one. Actually, when we learn Mahakusala, the pair, right? The pair. Here we have to look at one by one. One consciousness accompanied by joy. Joy is important, right? Joy. We have to look at that. Here we have 4 joy and 4 equanimity. So when we talk about equanimity, which mental factor will be excluded? Sorry, PT, right? PT. When we talk about the last 4 Cheda rooted in greed, equanimity, right? PT will be excluded. No PT. So here, one consciousness accompanied by joy associated with the wrong view. Here, very important, associated with the wrong view. We are talking about wrong view. The wrong view is among the 3 mental factors. That is a greed group. The greed, wrong view, and conceit, right? Wrong view and conceit. So therefore, basically, we will have a Tati, right? Tati command to the others. 30 comment with the others. And 4 unwholesome universes. Altogether, 70, right? 70. Now we have associated with the wrong view. So that means 80, right? 80. But we have to add here consciousness rooted in greed. We have to add greed, right? Altogether 90. Not difficult. You got it? So here, unprompted. Unprompted means we don't need to talk about sloth and torpor. Very active, right? Full of motivation and exertion. So therefore, no sloth and torpor. But as I said that the last one, doubt will associate with Cheta, rooted in doubt, right? So therefore, forget about doubt. Sloth and torpor also will not get it. But we have 4 hatred group, Cetasika, mental factor. We are talking about greed, right? So when we are greedy, we are not angry, right? If you are angry, you will not get it. You will not get anything, right? So therefore, so when we have a Cheta rooted in greed, no anger, right? No hatred group Cetasika. So therefore, 30 comment to the others. Then 4 unwholesome universes, altogether 70. Here, associated with the wrong view. So that means we have a wrong view. We are talking about greed-rooted Cheta. We have to add greed. Altogether, 90. How about conceit? Conceit is among the greed group, right? But here, associated with the wrong view, conceit and wrong view are opposite. They are just like 2 lions will not stay in one cave. The commentary said like this. So therefore, when you have a wrong view, no conceit, no conceit. But I have given you explain with the simile, right? A simile. A prince get married, fall in love with the poor girl, right? Poor girl. The moment he left that poor girl, he forgot about his background, his the ability of being a prince, right? Being a prince, and they get married. So by that time, he take care of his view, right? Take care of his view. Later, they get married. They were very big quarrel of fighting. By that time, he have ego, right? I am a prince. Why you dare insult me like this, right? Like this. By that time, he care of his the ability or capacity or quality. Qualities. I am a prince. That means conceit, right? Conceit. By that time, he will not take care of whether she is beautiful or lovely. He will not take care of it, right? So therefore, the wrong view and conceit were not associated with. So therefore, when somebody became an Nagami, doesn't have any wrong view regarding with the five aggregate, but still identify himself, I. This is I, this is me, right? So therefore, the wrong view and conceit were not, they are opposite. So therefore here, only 90 mental factor. So let's talk about it again. 30 comment to the others, and 4 unwholesome universes, and wrong view and greed. Altogether 90. Okay. How about second one? Accompanied by joy, associated with the wrong view, prompted. Prompted me. Which one you were included? Sloth and torpor. Because now you have a less motivation and energy. So therefore, you need to support with the motivation and energy. So out of 90, the first one is 90 middle factor, right? If you add sloth and torpor altogether, 21, right? 21. Then how about that one? Accompanied by joy, dissociated from wrong view. Here, dissociated from wrong view. Sorry? There's no wrong view me. Wrong view we're not associated with. But if we don't have a wrong view, can see where can, right? Can see where can. But here, unprompted me, sloth and torpor. We don't have sloth and torpor. So that means second one, third one, 90 middle factor. 30 comment to the others, 4 unwholesome universes, and greed and conceit. 90, right? The same number. So therefore, the way we count, the fourth one is accompanied by joy, dissociated from wrong view, prompted. So that means 21. We have to add wrong view again, and we have to exclude conceit, right? So this one also 21, right? 21. So the way we count here is the first one. How to say the first unprompted chaita. Number one is the first unprompted chaita. 90, right? 90 Cetasika middle factor. Look at the number 3. We call it second unprompted chaita, right? Second unprompted chaita. Also 90 middle factor. But they have the same number, but one associated with wrong view, but one associated with conceit. The same number. So therefore, we count as a one method, right? One method. And look at the number 2. The first prompted chaita, right? Associated with 21, together with the wrong view. But number 4, second prompted chaita, associated with conceit, right? Dissociated from wrong view, 21, right? 21. We call it the second prompted chaita, right? Second prompted chaita. How about number 5? Number 5 is one consciousness. One consciousness accompanied by equanimity. Here, equanimity. Which middle factor you will exclude? PT, right? So before we have a 90 middle factor. If we exclude PT, how many were left? 80, right? 80. But this one, number 5, together with the wrong view. So this one is called the third unprompted chaita. The third unprompted chaita, right? The third unprompted chaita, 80 middle factor, right? We have to exclude PT. You got it? You got it, okay. Then look at the number 7. One consciousness accompanied by equanimity. Here also you have to exclude PT, right? PT. Dissociated from wrong view. That means you will have a you don't have a wrong view, but along with conceit, right? Conceit, unprompted. So number 7 is called the fourth unprompted chaita, where associated with 80 middle factor. Can you count 80? 30 command to the others, 4 unwholesome universes, and greed and conceit, right? Together 80. Together 80. So therefore, among the 8 consciousness rooted in greed, we have the first Ampronacheda, second Ampronacheda, the third Ampronacheda, and the fourth Ampronacheda. Similarly, we have the first Pronacheda, right? When we talk about Pronacheda, we will add sloth and torpor, right? Okay. So I think it became clear, right? Clear. We go back again. So among the 8 consciousness, 8 chetas rooted in greed, and we have a 4 Ampronacheda. We call it the first Ampronacheda, right? So the first one associated with the 90. Among the 90, 30 are command to the others, and 4 universes, unwholesome universes, and wrong view and greed, 90, right? When we talk about second Ampronta one, number 3, instead of wrong view, we will exclude conceit. The number is the same, 90, right? Then the third Ampronacheda, so we have to exclude pity or zest. The reason is associated with the equanimity, right? So 80. And number 7, the fourth Ampronacheda, right? So exclude pity, altogether 80. So when we talk about Pronacheda, we have to add sloth and torpor, right? So the first Pronacheda will associate with 21. The second Ampronta, 21. The third one, only 20, because pity will be excluded. And the fourth one also 20. Now we have a 4 method, right? 4 method. Okay, then let's go. Among 8 great rooted cheda, the first Ampronacheda associated with 90 middle factors, 30 command to the other, 4 unwholesome universes. So unwholesome universes mean delusion, shamelessness, fearlessness of wrongdoing, and restlessness, right? And greed and wrong view. The reason is we are talking about greed, right? We are talking about greed. So therefore, we are talking about greed. So therefore, greed will be associated with. It is associated with the wrong view. That me together with the wrong view. So altogether 90. So second one also 90, but the difference is it will be together with the wrong view, but conceit, right? Conceit will be there. 90. Actually, this one, second one is dissociated from wrong view. So therefore, wrong view is replaced with the conceit. The number of middle factors in the first and second Amprontachetas is the same, 90, right? The number is the same, so therefore it is counted as a one method. We can also divide, we can also count 2 methods. Why not? You can create your own method, right? So this is the order, right? The order did himself. So this one is the 90. The first and second Ampronacheta, 90, right? Then the third one, 80, because you have to exclude zest, right? PT. And third one also 80. Instead of wrong view, you include conceit, right? Conceit. Actually, based on this one, in the Pronacheta, you add sloth and torpor, right? 21 and 20, right? 21 and 20. Manta Ekruda Cheda, the first Pronta Cheda, 21. Patikumandudiyatas, 4 unwholesome universes, greed, wrong view, sloth and torpor. And the fourth one, you remove wrong view and act on conceit, right? Conceit. If someone is under sloth and torpor, he need to be prompted. He needs volitional exertion as a support, right? As a support. Actually, when we are sloth and torpor, under sloth and torpor, capacity of our mind and body reduce, right? Therefore, be sleepy in the class. Sometime, right? Sometime. Either sloth and torpor or bodily fatigue, right? Bodily fatigue. Sometimes you come from your job, very tired, right? It's not because of sloth and torpor. Right? So this one is the first Pranacheda 21, the second Pranacheda 21. They have the same number, so therefore counted as a one method, right? And the third Pranacheda only 20 because have to exclude zest. And the fourth Pranacheda 20. The difference is the wrong view and conceit, right? No wrong view, conceit, sloth and torpor. So now we have a 4 method, right? 4 method. Any question? Okay.
You mentioned the 8 unwholesome people being associated with greed, and you have joy and equanimity. Equanimity is actually wholesome mental factor, and some books say it's neutral feeling state of equanimity. So I was a bit confused.
Actually, we have a different type of equanimity. Of course, among the 52, equanimity is a tatra mechatata, neutrality of the mind. It is beautiful mental factor, right? So therefore, we have a lot of, we call it a lot of shortcomings or sometime in Abhidhamma. Abhidhamma means, as I said, in Abhidhamma Sangha, right? Abhidhamma Sangha. Here, equanimity is not like a, how to say, the noble equanimity. Equanimity means here is a under unwholesome mental state. You stay doing unwholesome deed, but you are not active. Sometimes when we are doing unwholesome deed with the joy, right? We are happy. We are happy. Sometimes we do unwholesome deed full of anger. We are active. We are active, right? But even though we are doing with the joy, sometimes less motivation, right? Sasankarika, Pranacheda, right? But here, in terms of equanimity, here equanimity means when we have a joy, right? I want to say that our mind is very active, very active. And when we have anger, our mind is very active. Not like joy and anger. Actually, there is a condition that our mind is not active. I would say that, I want to say, not full of motivation. Sorry? They use neutral feeling. Actually, here, we can also use equanimity as well. It is just in terms of translation. So here, as I said, that it is when we are doing with the joy, our mind is active. When we are doing anger, active. But equanimity is not like those mental state. So when we are doing our sati with the equanimity, actually our action is less effective. When we are doing our sati with the equanimity, it's good, right? It's good. But when we are doing wholesome deed, normal wholesome deed, sincere wholesome deed with the equanimity, it's not good. But when we are in sublime state, equanimity, good. Yeah, okay.
When you talk about equanimity over here, it's something associated with your feeling.
Okay.
It's a feeling. So equanimity normally associated with no harm. Then in terms of mental factor, equanimity means neutrality. So the function of this equanimity is to somehow like balancing of the mental factor. So actually it's two different kinds of function.
Very good explanation. Actually, of course, I forgot one thing, that here equanimity is feeling, right? It's not like neutrality of the mind or tatra mechatata. Tatra mechatata is not a feeling. I forgot this point. Because when we talk about how to say the Brahma Vihara equanimity, it's not a feeling. It is a neutrality of the mind. Actually, here equanimity is feeling, right? We have a different type of feeling: joy feeling, and displeasure feeling, painful feeling, and pleasure feeling, and also the equanimity feeling, right? 5. But this one is under feeling, not neutrality of the mind or tatra mechatata, right? So I think that so if we look at in this way, I think that we will have an answer. Answer here me. As you know, the feeling associated with any type of cheta, right? Any type of cheta. Of course, the neutrality of the mind will not associate with any type of cheta. Only beautiful cheta, right? Beautiful cheta. So feeling, equanimity here is a feeling. So therefore, it can associate with any type of cheta, whether it is even up to the supramundane level, right? Supramundane level. So here is a unwholesome feeling. Unwholesome feeling. But when we are doing, as I said, that when we are doing unwholesome deed with the equanimous feeling, it's good. When we are doing unwholesome deed with the joy, right? So therefore, the joy is stated at the first, right? The first four. They are more powerful, right? More powerful. Very, very complicated one. Any question? Any more discussion? You want to contribute your idea? Okay, I think that that's what we do today. Then next week we will do in Juvenile Hall, right? As usual in Juvenile Hall. Sakyamo tu su su si su bodhisattva